Hey everyone, it's Corey with Sims Investment Management, and this is another monthly market update. I'm coming to you a little late this month because Emily and I were blessed to be able to bring in our son, Carter Edward Sims, on June 25th. Carter came into the world at 8:04 p.m. He was 7 pounds 2 ounces and 21 inches long. Emily has been a rock star and she did amazing through delivery. Carter's already gained some weight. He's about 8.5 pounds now, and we're about 2.5 weeks into parenthood. It's been such a blessing. So many of you, clients and friends, have supported Emily and I along our fertility journey the past couple of years, and we just are so appreciative for everything that, all the support and love that we've received. Everybody has just been so incredibly kind. And can't wait to show off Carter, the new addition to Sims Investment Management. So shifting gears a little bit to the market continued its upward climb last month in June. We're north of a 14% rate of return so far year to date for 2021, which is absolutely amazing. It goes to show that the fortitude to be able to stay invested into the market through Corona last year, through the election potential scare, has really paid off for investors. It would not be abnormal for us to have some type of a pullback this summer. Again, just a reminder, in any given year, we average about a 14% pullback from the peak to the trough and then a recovery in any given calendar year. So if we have a 10% pullback from here, no big deal. We would still have a positive return for the year. The market has been rallying really on just amazing news. The stimulus certainly helped the Fed and Congress being very accommodative, but companies are sitting on a ton of cash. They're issuing debt at record low levels from an interest rate perspective. They're spending CapEx, they're investing in their companies at a rate of about 15% per year. And as crazy as it sounds, COVID could turn into the type of event that we saw in like 1987 when all of a sudden the market really started flourishing there for 10, 15 years. Some people are calling this the roaring 20s again that we saw in the 1920s in the market. Where companies are finally starting to reinvest into themselves and into their employees. So I'm excited to see where the next few years go, and encouraged by some of the forward-looking information and metrics that we're seeing. I know inflation's a little bit of a scare for a lot of people out there. We'll see if it's transitory. I personally think it is going to be transitory. I think the supply chain issues are going to work themselves out in the next 6 to 18 months. Some of the inflation data that we're seeing right now is really heavily driven by used car sales, which is making up about half of the inflation type numbers that we're seeing. And then also oil. Oil, is up north of $1 since November, since the election. So that is also driving some of the inflation numbers. So I think the supply chain issues themselves will work themselves out. The labor market, we'll see if it starts to reach a better equilibrium in the coming months now that some of the unemployment benefits are up. And then lastly, the housing market. Everybody keeps saying, oh my gosh, it's going to crash, it's going to crash. This is completely different than what we saw in 2008, 2009. It just is. This is a supply-driven issue versus a demand-driven issue. There's not enough supply because we've been underbuilding homes for basically almost 15 years. Since the Great Recession, we haven't been building enough homes to keep up with destruction. Just longevity in a home is not designed to last forever. And also population growth and population trends, with millennials being the biggest demographic now, and typically 30-year-olds are the ones buying homes. So there's just a lot of people chasing too few homes, and hopefully we see some balancing out of that soon. But I do not think that this is a 2008, 2009 type of scenario where you had non-sustainable levels of demand because money was so cheap at that time. It's a completely different world than it was 13 years ago. The last part that I want to talk about, I'm going to send a video out that I think is fantastic. It talks about the top 10 global trends that every smart person should know. This is not just for smart people. This is for anyone that is a doomsdayer. Just a really quick 5-minute video that puts some great news into perspective of some positive trends that we see in the world, from population growth to poverty coming down, access to clean water, energy, internet, etc. And then last but not least, the rest of this email is going to have our mid-year just kind of letter update to clients of what the market's done and what our investing principles are. Please share it with anybody that you think might need a little bit of this information. And I appreciate you letting me share my good news with you guys this month. I'll be back doing client meetings starting in August. Until then, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.